Hi there. Today in this tutorial we are going to build this beautiful expanding share button with React and Tailwind CSS. Also we have a Figma to make it pixel perfect. So let's clarify first how we can build this. As you can see here there will be some conditional rendering and we are going to manage it by a state, and also we need to write many Tailwind CSS class based on the condition. That's why we are using CLSX here. And for those who don't know about CLSX, CLSX is a utility for writing conditional class names in a structured way. And also we are using huge icons for these icons. So let's jump into the code. As you can see here, I have already initialized the React project with Tailwind CSS and TypeScript. So now let's install the other packages. Firstly, I'm gonna install the CLSX. Now we need to install the huge icons. We need to go to the down below and we will install it with this command. Now we need to run our project. As we can see here, our project is successfully running. Now let's take an overview how we can design it. So basically this will be a div container, and after triggering it, it will expand and look like this. The container will be in relative position with fixed height width, and all of this content will be in absolute position for better transitions. Now let's design the container first. Firstly, we are going to create a wrapper here. This will be minimum height screen. We will use flex here. Items will be center and the justify will be center also. Now we can see our content take the position in center. Now let's declare the state. It will be open, set open, and the initial value will be false. Now let's create the container. The container background color will be black and the text color will be white. We need to use CLSX here. Now we need to apply the class name based on the state. When it's expanded, the width will be 312 pixel and the height will be 280 pixel. And when it's collapsed, the height will be 52 pixel and the width will be 118 pixel. So this is the layout. Now we can add the border radius. It has 8 pixel border radius. Now we can add the on click handler here. If it's not open, then set open as true. Now we can add the transitions here. Transition will be all, duration will be 300, and the behavior will be is out. This is how it looks. Now let's add the trigger content. Firstly, we need the icon here. We can search it here, share. Simply we can copy it from here and paste it. And the huge icon will be come from huge icons React, and the icon will also come from the huge icons. As we can see, our icon is imported. And each icon size will be 24 pixel. And now we can add the text over here in a span tag. Now let's align this button. We need the CLSX, flex, item center, gap will be 2, and when it's not open, it will take the top 4 and the left will 4, and when it's not open, it will be in center position. That's why we will use top 1 by 2, left 1 by 2, and also we need to use translate x minus 1 by 2, and also we need the minus translate y 1 by 2. Also we need to absolute this. Yeah, this looks perfect now. Also we need to add the relative here. Yeah, now let's add the close button. We can add the icon from here. Can search it by cancel. Here is the icon. There will be a button here, and we need to paste the icon over here. Now we can add the handler here. Also we need to stop the event propagation here, because we have a another handler on the outside. We'll use stop propagation and set open as false. And now we need to position it properly. We'll use class name, also the CLSX. We will use absolute, and the top will be 4 and the right will be 4. And when it's open, it will have opacity 100, and the rotation value will be 0. And when it's not open, it will be opacity 0, and it will rotate by minus 45 degree. And we are going to use pointer events none here. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, looks cool. We need to add cursor pointer here. Also we need to add cursor pointer here also. Yeah, now we can add these buttons. So we are going to put these icons and labels and colors in area of object. So let's do that. The name will be buttons. The first property will be label, and then the icon. We will copy the icon name from the use icons. We're going to copy this and paste it here. And now we need the background color. We can copy it from here. Yeah. Also, we are going to do the same thing for the other buttons. We have add all buttons content. Now let's render this. We are going to render this in a div. We will run a map here on the buttons. We will got a button and the index. We will add a button here, and then we will give a key here, the index. And now we can use the icons here. Also, one thing we can do, we can destructure it, icon, label, and the bg color. The icon will be in here, and the label will be in span tag. It's successfully rendered. Now let's align this. We have 76% gap from the top. It will be so absolute, and the top will be 76 pixel. We will use with full hair, and the px will be 3, and the button will be with full hair. It will be flex, items will be center, and the gap will be 2. And we can add the background color like this. So if you want to use the background color like this, then we need to structure it properly as a Tailwind class. We can do like this. As we can see, our button is successfully rendered with the background color. Now we can adjust the size and the padding and the border radius. The rounded will be 8 pixel and the padding will be 10 pixel and the space will be y1. Now let's have a look. Yeah, it's successfully done. We need to add a overflow hidden here. Now we can animate this button. If it's open, then the opacity will be 100 and the translate x value will be 0 and the translate y value will be 0. And when it's not open, the opacity will be 0 and it will translate x 2 and translate y 2. And also we need to reduce the scale size 75 and we can do it here scale 100. And we need to add some delay here and the delay will be increased by the index 50 into index. As we can see, we have done the most of the part of the animation. Now we have to hide this while it's open. So let's do it. We will need to use CLX here as well. We need to use absolute here. The transition will be all and the duration will be 300. And then when it's open, opacity will be 0 and it will translate minus x8. And when it's not open, the opacity will be 100 and it will translate by 8. Now we need to adjust the position in share text. We need to use CLSX here and transition will be all, duration will be 300 and then if it's open, then it will translate x0 and when it's not open, then it will translate by 8. Now let's see how it's look. We need to add some width there. I think I have done a mistake here and the value will be 0 here and now it's fixed. So now let's add a extra class to make it more optimized. The class will be wheel change transform. Now it looks more optimized. So we have done this with a simple React state and Tailwind transitions. If you found this video helpful, then like the video and subscribe for more tutorials.